A recent study says Egyptians followed mostly a vegetarian diet. Which diet do you think is best for you? What is diet? Diet is a 13th century English word whose meaning is habitually taken food and drink. However, this word diet was used in another sense too in the Middle and early modern English periods to mean way of living. This is in fact the original meaning of diet's Greek ancestor dieta, which is derived from the verb diatashatan, meaning to lead one's life. In Greek, dieta had already come to be used more specifically for a way of living prescribed by a physician, a dietitian, or other arrangement. So what is the diet for Africans? Who has prescribed it? Would you eat this okra mixed with the beans and the pap and some chilies? There. Whole fresh plant foods like colorful fruits and vegetables, especially leafy greens, tubers like yams and sweet potatoes, beans of all kinds, nuts and peanuts, rice, flatbreads and other grain foods, especially whole grain, healthy oils, homemade sauces and marinades of herbs and spices. Should that be your food? How do you think this should be your food? Now, there is a spiritual connection and connotation to us all when it comes to food and to life. There is also the herbs, especially garlic, that we must always understand and come to recognize as vital and critical to fight diseases and attacks like flu and congestions. And diet and nutrition are traditional and also follow a certain pattern. What is the cause of disease? What must you eat or drink? One of the greatest minds and the bravest men to ever walk the earth in terms of health and African understanding of our health was Dr. Sebi, who was assassinated a few years back. Mucus is the case of every disease. Eliminate the mucus and eliminate the disease. One of the greatest models or modes of eliminating mucus is to understand that our bodies of water, and therefore we must drink a lot of water, clean water. Mucus is the problem. Like phlegm and mucus are the cause of every disease ever on the earth. If mucus goes to your nostrils, they call it sinusitis. If the mucus goes to your bronchial tube, they call it bronchitis. If the mucus goes to the lungs, they call it pneumonia. If the mucus goes to the prostate gland, they call it prostatitis. When the mucus goes to the uterus of a woman, they call it endometriosis or vaginal discharge or yeast infection. If mucus is mucus is the underlying cause of all diseases. If it goes to your brain, they call it Alzheimer's. If it goes to your joints, they call it joint pain and all the other diseases. If it accumulates in your brain, it also causes headaches. This is the image of the ancient Egyptian who was a vegan, a vegetarian. That's the issue that we have to look at. We know that rice is toxic, like eating plastic. This is what Dr. Sebi and the Hidden Facts on Health and Nutrition teaches. Eat to live, not to die. Rice was made in Holland. It is a brand just like Nike, Dyson, Samsung, Rolex, etc. It is a hybrid food, man-made. Therefore, someone is making a profit from our lack of knowledge about rice. It shouldn't even be called food. Rice in its raw form looks and feels like plastic because it is plastic. It even returns back to plastic if you leave it out for a long period of time after being cooked. Rice contains cyanide and high levels of starch. Starch is a chemical that the body converts into carbonic acid when consumed. There are so many foods that have starch, that have gluten, that are poisonous. It burns and destroys cells, weakening the mucous membrane, your entire body. Starch is the cause of mineral deficiencies, which leads to all kinds of diseases such as diabetes, anemia, impaired visions, paralysis, cancer, arthritis, and fibroids. Starch is not food. It is a poison that is very high on the glycemic index. All types of rice, with the exception of wild rice, all types are hybrids. Replace your consumption of rice with the grains below. They are African, they are alkaline, they are electric food. This is the teaching of the great Dr. Sebi. When you boil white rice or any other alkaline grain in a glass pot, you will see that they bounce and jump around inside the boiling pot. Why? Because they contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. But when you cook any other rice, it just sits there and it starts to ferment, and it starts to grow and become big. It is dead. It is plastic. It has no life. Only nature can create food that contains life. Men cannot play Mother Nature's role. They have tried it through GMO. They have tried it through various companies like Monsanto. They have failed. They have created problems. They have created diseases. We have listed below some of the excellent benefits of each grain, but they have many more. So do your research. Eat to live, not to die. This is the African food that you must adopt and you must eat. Amaranth, hair loss, strong bones, eyes, anemia, growth, muscles, cancer, weight loss, and food, baby food. This is amaranth. This is fonio. This is kamut. This is quinoa. It strengthens the bones. It deals with the muscles, diabetes, brain, skin, heart, and weight loss. This is rye. It also assists in weight loss, gallstones, heart fights, cancer, bones, and the other digestive issues. This is spelt. This is teff or injera found in Africa. This is white rice. You can see the color. These are the foods that we must all eat. Now, this is the preventive. The title of your content and your layout and the list of things that you must have, the list of foods. You must eat preventatively. You must have a concern with your primary health. You must deal with your skin maintenance, in other words, your beauty and cosmetics. You must deal also with your eyesight. You must eat to see. You must also have a spiritual nutrition. This is what Hamiti Hebrew ethics deals with. The ancient Egyptians knew the importance of the brain. There are others that say the Egyptians emphasized a lot about the heart, because yes, they did, because the heart is also symbolic of your spirit. The Edwin Papyrus, Smith Papyrus, dating back to 1700 before Common Era, is the earliest non-medical text in history. The papyrus discusses the brain, the spinal cord, and the cerebral fluid. So the ancient Egyptian ancestors knew a lot about the brain. It contains details of 48 medical cases, including 7 that deal directly with the brain, which indicates that the ancient Egyptians knew a lot about the brain. So, what should you eat? You should eat for brain health. You should adopt a vegetarian nutrition. You should eat to prevent diseases. You should know that blood is important. Red blood is important, but white blood cells is pus. You should also know that blood vessels should be kept healthy. And you should aim to eat for longevity and live for over 125 years. Exercise regularly, and you must always sleep very deeply. These are the top 5 electric herbs that herbalsdirect.co.uk, based on Dr. Sebi's teaching, we must eat. Now, Irish moss, also called sea moss by Dr. Sebi, is excellent all-rounder and mineral-rich vegetable. Be sure to get it raw and wild and crafted. All ages, all those that are pregnant can eat it. Elderberry, it's awesome, anti-inflammatory. It deals with your blood vessels, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. Keeps your codes in check, great source of iron, which is critical for your brain and for your thinking. Potassium, phosphorus, and copper, all ages. Yellow dock or root, make a practice of drinking a bitter tea once a week or twice a week. Served daily. It was also burdock. Is rich with iron. It's also a tea which you must eat. Plus, it offers over 102 minerals. The body that is made from that and needs that. And the red willow bark, because of the headache happens, this is what can cure your headaches. These are some of the wild fruits that our ancient ancestors in Africa used to eat. They are horned lemon, Indian jujube, jackal, boot, kay, marula, wild watermelon with the seeds, monkey nuts, rock melons, mjanje, all this is fish, patrice. We must all eat this daily. Modern food and drink are poisoning us. This is what Mike Adams, the health ranger, said. Today, more than 95% of all chronic diseases is caused by food choice, toxic food ingredients, nutritional deficiencies, and the lack of physical exercises. It's common because of the luxurious life we have. One of the greatest teachers on health, Laila O Afrika, has a number of books. We recommend that you find this book and you read it, African Holistic Health by Laila O Afrika. Your true source of holistic health. Read this book. You must also be brave and smart and spiritually empowered by reading books by Arnold Ehret, Newcastle's Diet and Healing Systems. Also, you must read Nutritional Destruction of the Black People, Nutricide by Laila O Afrika. This is the book that we are showing here, how we have been destroyed and how we are being destroyed. Now, we know that we are Bantus. We know that Ntu is the flesh and Ba is the soul. So our bodies need to be managed because they are vehicles for our life. This is one of the greatest and original cucumber. Not the one that you buy in the shops. This is the mother of all cucumbers found in Africa. This is round nuts and peanuts mixed. You should boil them and eat them boiled. This is the original banana with seeds. Don't eat the banana without seeds. You must understand and adopt an alkaline and a health food system. These are the foods that are listed that are alkaline foods in green, and the yellow are acidic, which include wheat, whole wheat, barley, old brown chicken, turkey, cold hard dog, eggs, butter, corn oil, currants, oysters, shrimp, any meat. All animal foods are all acidic. They create a problem. You must adopt a herbal fruit diet so that you can live a healthy 125 years. That's the goal. Aim to be alive for not less than 125 years. Yes. Eat smarter is also within your race. Genetic compatibility and balanced by alkaline nutrition. Drink a clean water daily, a lot of it. Adopt a vegan or a vegetarian diet. You can do it for 21 days and stop, and until you adopt a vegetarian diet. This is what our ancient ancestors used to eat. They ate meat rarely. Exercise regularly by walking. Think deeply through imagination and seeing pictures in your brain. And breathe deeply like a young baby. Sleep soundly and at times be a little bit lazy. It helps. Eat to live, not eat to die. That's what Dr. Sebi told us and taught us. This is Priest Rabbi LM Dumizulu, Life Spirit of Amen. Subscribe to our channel and share with others. Pass on your comments and continue to critique us. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. Thank you very much. Goodbye.